Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, Shubham and I are going for another visa run. Today we're going to the Embassy of Sudan.
We are travelers, not bureaucratic, but we are doing the bureaucracy thing.
So we're doing all the bureaucratic work. And apparently Dubai is the new place in the world to do this. You know, a lot of travelers we know, they like to go to Rome, or they like to go to, Istanbul. Rome or Istanbul, that they go to go get their new visas. But apparently Dubai is a new place in the world to do this, in my opinion, because Dubai, they have, I looked up the other day, 208 representations, foreign representations. But if you know, there's only like 197 countries in the world, you know? So they have an extra 10 representations of countries that aren't recognized in more places around the world. Like, is there, there's no Transnistria embassy here.
I think Somaliland.
There's a Somaliland embassy here.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I think that's really interesting. And not only are they like the consulates here, but there's also additional embassies over in Abu Dhabi. So this place, yeah, this is where you gotta go. Anyway, this is my second time now having to go to one of these countries that have a big X mark through it that we're not supposed to go to. So it makes it really difficult as an American traveler to go to them. I just realized. Hold that. You know, I was thinking I'm wearing my scuba diving shirt this morning, not because I have to do laundry and I don't have any other clothes, but because since it's a scuba diving shirt and Port Sudan is like their only tourist infrastructure for scuba diving, I'll tell them that I'm just coming to do scuba diving, I'm a tourist. But, hey, good morning. How you doing? Hey. Good morning, Anisha.
Good morning. It must be cool by now.
Yes, I'll make it viral. Hey, good morning. Embassy of Sudan. One other thing I guess I didn't mention about Port Sudan is that it's like, being that it's the only tourist infrastructure. It's like one of the only tourist infrastructure places. That and also the small pyramids by Meroe. But that as well. There's like nothing in Khartoum, and going up the Nile and everything, it gets really dicey. Not many tourists go there. But it's like 80% of tourist activities happen through Port Sudan. But it's also the point of entry for like almost every invading nation, everybody that wants to take advantage of them. So I was telling Shubham lovingly that Port Sudan is kind of like the anus of Port Sudan, of Sudan.
Yeah.
Because every country has violated it. The Israelis used Port Sudan to smuggle Ethiopians out of the continent. The Americans attacked it, the British used it to invade Sudan, so everybody uses that as the port of entry. Okay, we made it to the embassy. I don't think you're really allowed to videotape here though. The thing is, the visa has to get done by noon.
Yeah, it's by noon. There's enough time.
You know, if I can say, I'm surprised that they actually have a nice embassy. And the door was slammed hard in our face. Very hard. Only residents of Dubai. I think, no, it was UAE actually.
Yeah.
All of UAE. But only residents of UAE can apply. Let's go this way.
I hate this thing.
So yes, only residents of UAE. They said our only other alternative is to go to another country.
Yeah.
Right? Another country that could issue it. Or we can use a visa service that'll send our passports directly to Sudan. That takes like 3 to 5 days though. And I'm sure it's going to cost a lot of money actually.
Yeah.
What'd you find?
To wait for the number, it will take 3 days.
I think so. I know they're 59 and your number's like 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay, make sure you go through the sterilization gate.
Okay.
Because it does absolutely nothing.
What does this mean, man?
God knows. Okay, now we have a very fine choice since Sudan doesn't work. Lebanon is all closed anyway, and I get a visa on arrival, but for him, I think you have to pay. There's a lot of other wonderful embassies around us, like the embassy of Yemen, the embassy of Iraq.
Oh, let's go to Iraqi embassy, let's go to Pakistani embassy.
Pakistani is very difficult for him. Americans never know about this, the India-Pakistan problems. But what other beautiful embassies do we have around us? We have Saudi Arabia.
What I know about Pakistan visa for Indians, there's two ways to get the visa. The first is that if you have a blood relation in Pakistan, which I don't have. Second is that if government of Pakistan invites me. I don't think so they're gonna invite me.
Why would they invite him? Usually, most Indian travelers, if they do want to go to, like, it's very, very exceptional cases that, and it has to be like personally approved. But a lot of the ones that I've seen before, it's like people that they go to like every other country, so it's like literally like your last one, and they're like, okay, fine, I guess you can come in. Even though like if you're like famous,
yeah,
like if Imran Khan tried to go over or whatever, you know,
it's really hard.
It'd be difficult even if you were like the very famous football star. But it doesn't help when you have people like Modi and Imran Khan. But you know, I guess the best comparison I can put for Americans is that Modi is kind of like he's a Trump that's not so blathering mouth, but Imran Khan is a cricket star, so he's got like the populist kind of side, and those two sides, I guess they don't see each other. Modi and Trump actually kind of became, I mean, friends. I don't want to say friends, but they understood each other. What embassy do we got here?
It's Palestine.
Palestine?
Yeah, let's try.
No, you don't. You don't need it. You know, it's a nice embassy, but why am I coughing today? For Palestine here, I was telling Shubham earlier that it really, I think the only way to get there, because there's no airports in Palestine, you'd have, I mean, like the way that I've been to Palestine a few times, the way that you go there is by going into Tel Aviv and then driving in, because there's no like formal border lines or no border crossings. The way that I'm sure that they would process it here is that if you're not allowed to go to Israel, and actually the UAE didn't recognize Israel until just a few weeks ago, or they didn't like open diplomatic ties. So the reason why they have that there, I guess, is that you have to go to Amman, Jordan. You'd have to go to the next country over and then cross over the King Salman Bridge and go directly into Palestine. But still, you're going to be crossing Israeli territory in that area. So, complications. Like I said, there really is no border. And once you get into Palestine, like, you can move freely into Israel. If you really wanted to, you could really go all the way across Israel and no one would stop you. It really just depends on what kind of vehicle you have. The only way that they can tell people apart in that area, because obviously everyone like looks the same, you know, they all live like 10 miles apart from each other. But the way that they tell them apart is by the vehicle that you drive. Your vehicle license plate, I can't remember which one is which, but I think the Israeli license plate is white, okay, and the Palestinian license plate is yellow. So if you have one of those yellow license plates and you go into the Israeli territory, then yes, you will be stopped at like every checkpoint and everything, and you should have all the documents. But it sounds a lot meaner than it really is, because, you know, I've never seen a nicer military than Israel. Totally, and I mean that unequivocally, because there is like checkpoints all over the country, of course, to maintain the roads, but it's required to do military service in Israel. It's a little bit over 2 years, and so if you go to all these military checkpoints, the only people that are manning them are like 18-year-olds that, yes, they do have guns, but they definitely know how to shoot them. They all go to really like a long training process, but it's all just like 18-year-old, 19-year-olds that are all just hanging out with their friends, and they're just like sitting in the middle of nowhere. So every time I go through there, they're super nice, they're funny, you know, like, hey, what you doing here? Oh my gosh, you're American, like, that's really cool, you know, like, I love America, you know. And I never met people that love America more than Israel as well. I've met a lot of Israelis that know way more about American culture than me. Yemen?
Someday we want to go to Yemen. We have information.
Let me know what's going on. Yes, you make a good point.
After 1 hour, come back.
After 1 hour?
Yeah.
Not now?
Not now, because too much the people inside.
Too much people inside.
Okay.
What, I just want to know the information, how to get the visa and what are the documents needed for the
So just information.
After come back 1 hour after you
Is it just like on paper?
No, it's people.
Okay.
After you ask him.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you.
1 hour exactly.
Okay.
1 hour exactly. Okay. That's okay. I didn't actually want to go to your country. You know, actually, Shubham, I'm very surprised in you that you wanted to get a visa for Yemen, because Yemen is an extremely dangerous country. Extremely dangerous. Just the most Yemen thing actually possible that could happen is that just the other week, the entire brand new cabinet of Yemen, all 26 members, they landed on a plane, and the plane was bombed. Actually, they landed on the plane. Yemenia is their only airline, the only airline that flies in and out of Yemen. As all the cabinet members were getting off the plane, then there was 2 bombs that blew up the terminal, and 26 people died.
Residents.
It's just the residents of Egypt.
Let's try. Where's the Egyptian resident?
Probably on the other side then.
Pakistan.
I think if he tries to get the Pakistan visa right now,
Yeah.
if they deny him now and if they see it, there's like a revocation in there, I think it's going to be difficult for when he actually does want to go to Pakistan, when it is like one of his final countries.
If I want to go to every country in the world, I can go to Pakistan. From the Indian side, there's an open Gurudwara. It's just like,
That doesn't count though.
no, there's a stamp and everything, so this count. They will count it. The lakhs are limitless.
Are we counting stamps? Is that what's going on?
No, if I have to go to the every country in the world, and the Pakistan will be the last country, so I can do this.
I mean, I guess it's an exception.
Just like lakhs are limitless.
Okay, here's Egypt.
Okay, let's try.
See if you can get the visa. Did you know today's a national holiday?
Why?
Today's national holiday is Yell at Brayden Day today. Because almost every fucking security guy has yelled at me today. But one of the best things about traveling with Shubham is I learned to stop caring, and I try to push the boundaries, sometimes to bad things. So I was just filming something in front of the Jordan embassy, and the police got all mad, and then other people came up and yelling and everything. Delete it, we want to see it right now. We're gonna take your camera, we're gonna take you to the police station, blah blah blah. Okay, fine. I was just trying to make something nice about Jordan. Okay, I'm gonna stop filming here again because now we're walking in front of the Yemen embassy. And they're not gonna be very kind. There's Palestine again. But over here now is Saudi. But we're going farther, that's the United States embassy. And we're gonna see if we can do something to get him a US visa. Having a US visa, it's amazing how Americans don't understand how powerful our visa is.
Yeah.
That, just to put it into context, if and when Shubham gets the American visa, then it opens up a ton of new doors for like
At least 35 more countries. I don't need a visa.
that he doesn't need a visa for anymore. If you get the American visa, then they trust you and they're like, okay, then you don't have to get a visa. Or you can get visas on arrival or something. So it's actually a really intriguing idea.
Even in Dubai, if you have a US visa, you don't need you will get a visa on arrival.
Yeah. If so, every time that he comes to Dubai, you're paying what, $100?
$100, yeah.
$100 for a 30-day visa. But simply if he had the US visa, they wouldn't charge him anything. He'd be allowed to come to Dubai as much as he wants for free. This is the Abra.
Yeah. Do you not want to sit in the front? Towards the front?
So it costs 1 dirham a person,
Yeah.
which is 30 cents. small little.
The cheapest mode of transportation here in Dubai is the
Really?
water taxi.
You know, this I think this is the cheapest thing I found in Dubai.
Yeah.